Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you're here. If you're new here, my name is Scala. I am a second-year Master's in Design Studies student at Harvard's Graduate School of Design. I'm really excited for today's video, talking about 4 tips that I have to make your internship experience the best it can be. So let's just dive right in. My first tip is to do good work. And this is obvious. I mean, that's kind of the goal of the internship in the first place. We were chosen for our skills. We also applied because we wanted to gain skills. So, we all need a reminder to just put our best foot forward. So I wanted to give 3 mini tips within this first tip that'll help you do so. And the first is my go-to, which is to create a few sentences of your why. Why did you apply to this internship? Remember what skills you wanted to gain, who you wanted to talk to or get in conversation with, and just a few sentences of what drew you to the internship in the first place, and maybe even getting the insight as to why you were chosen, talking to your supervisor about what really stood out in your application. And this will just help guide you into how the work that you're going to do is going to influence your future and your endeavors within the company as well. And also to consider what else you could do in the company. So if you're doing an internship where you have one specific job that is meant to go through the entire summer, I'm sure you have a little bit of time here and there to dive into something new or help a coworker with their project. So something important to do would be to actually go around the office, find out what other people are doing and see if you can offer some encouragement or some support in any other way. And that'll just bolster you doing really great work for the company beyond what you were told to do. And the third point, which is something that I think we forget often, is to ask for help. Letting yourself be more vulnerable to asking for help, realizing when you're doing something that you might just need a professional's eye in doing better, is to just from the jump, just go to your supervisor, go to your mentor within the program, just go to whoever is helping you out with your project and already offer the things that you know that you are hoping to gain and the skills you're hoping to gain. So you are already letting it on the table that you are not the professional here. I mean, they know that, but just to maybe encourage you, I know for me, in interning, my first ever internship, I was so nervous to even send a text message. My mentor even gave me their phone number to do this project for them. And they were like, you got 3 hours, take your time, message me whenever. And I was just so nervous to be no, I have to seem like I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't want to seem so dumb by asking a question within the first 20 minutes, but getting those questions out there right at the jump is really, really important. Whether you're struggling or you're just a little bit unsure, ask anyway. My next tip is to gain community. So join that sports team that your company has. The softball teams that for some reason I feel every company has a softball team. At least my architecture firms in the past have had a softball team. So find ways to get involved, whether it's going out on Fridays with the team, happy hours that people do at company. I've never had happy hours really, but I have my last summer. What am I saying? Okay, yeah, join the after hours events. Really try to get to know your team beyond the workplace, and I think this is just great for relationships in general. And then for my third tip, which is to network. So in the sense of getting to know everyone and really being involved in their lives outside the workplace, you're also really helping yourself for whatever future endeavors you're interested in, whether it's through the company. The person who's a long-lasting principal might not be the person you're gonna be best buddies with, but it could be someone who's in doing a project that you're just so fascinated by, and in the near future they'd be really happy to give you more insight into how you can engage in that kind of work. So it's really important to, build your community and build those friendships, but also realize that these are people that you can now go to in the future. So something that a friend of mine recommended me do is to create a Rolodex, those old flipping paper things that everyone had with all the contact information of these of everyone they knew. Well, you can create that on a spreadsheet Excel or Google Sheets. And I have one that I'm just now going back in and finding all my business cards, typing people's names in. This is also really helpful because if your firm has your own email, which you probably do, you're not going to have access to that after the summer. So it's kind of hard then to do the automatic search of a name and then find their email. So this is perfect to be hey, Bill, we met whenever, whatever. What is your personal email? Or would you mind sharing your personal email so we can continue to stay in touch after my internship? That's what I did with sending thank yous at the end of my internship, which is also a huge thing I recommend, side note, to, start to think about those people that you are really grateful for, the experiences that you had. And don't forget to send a little thank you at the end of your internship. But going back to the networking part, creating a spreadsheet of people, the projects they're doing right now, where you and how you met them will help you for the future. Like when you're like, okay, there was someone I knew at the firm who was doing X and Y, and I really want to try to get into that. Like this person would be really helpful to just like know and use as a reference for your thesis project or whatever research you're doing in that moment. So, or a future job. So it's really important, I think, to build those networks through the community of the workplace as well. My final tip is to evaluate how you're doing. So this is something I think is really important for your betterment, your like during the program or during your internship. So a week or 10 days into your internship, go to your supervisor, go to your mentor and have a conversation and just be like, hey, I just want to evaluate like how the work is going right now. I'd love to hear your feedback on how I'm doing. I'd also like to offer my thoughts on like what I'd want to also get involved in during this internship, and just like have a casual conversation about like how it's going so far. I know a week in kind of seems too soon, but internships are like 10 weeks. You don't have much time. Rethink what you're doing if something's not going well. And this also forces you to talk about things that you might help with. And it just gives you that automatic need to like be in conversation. And sometimes your mentors will schedule this, but if they don't, I really recommend that you do. Like straight off the bat, just be like, I'm really excited about this internship. I want to make sure that I'm doing the best that I can do. Do you mind scheduling a meeting a week out just to make sure that we're on track? And I'm sure they'd be super excited. I'd actually be pretty impressed by a student who's really just fascinated by the work and wanting to do really great for the company, which goes back to the first point, doing good work. So I'm sure that's just all going to be good for you in the long run. You can also do this like midway into your program and at the end to evaluate what you've done well and the skills that you have moving forward. Just as a reminder, I feel like I wish I'd done that for all of my internships throughout my years, as well as the skills that you now want to build off of even more. And you can even include that in your Rolodex of like, okay, well, these people really helped me build this skill for the future. I'm hoping I can go back to them, but also I've gained these skills that I'm definitely more confident in, and I hope to continue to use them in my own personal research or work or endeavors in the future. I think that's really, I think that's something that we need to encourage each other to do more often, is to evaluate ourselves. And you can even use your why from the very beginning. Why you decided to do this internship, the skills that you wanted to gain, bring that back to this evaluation of yourself and be like, okay, did I meet these standards? What could I have done better to have met them in my next internship or my next next ventures in school or academia? Like, what could I do to better myself? And yeah, those are my tips, guys. I hope they were really helpful. If I had incorporated, especially the evaluation, especially the asking for help really easily and getting involved in my community more intentionally, I would have been even more immersed in that culture. I mean, I'm grateful for all the internships and the experiences I've had, of course, in the past, but I'm definitely more equipped now to better myself and do great work for any firm that I'm involved in the future. So I hope you are as well after reading this, and just take these slowly. Take maybe 1 or 2 tips at a time. You don't have to do every single thing. But yeah, I'm glad that you guys listened in. Hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.